Well, welcome to my toy life. I hope you had a good Valentine's Day, and we're looking forward to a great show. We have the great Flocker here with us tonight and some other guest hosts. So let's bring in each one of the guest hosts. First, we're going to bring in Rick, my Ed McMahon.
Yes. Yes.
How you tonight, Rick?
Good. I love being here.
Great.
Love it.
And we have the great and wondrous Paul Knapp.
Hey, what's up, Terry? How you doing?
You are the cause of all this.
Yep.
You got us excited, and I don't know if anybody else took your cue, but I did. And
I think it's great, man. I think it's we need more 1/6 scale shows out there, man.
That's right. That's right. This is my 19th show.
See that, man?
Wow.
I was lucky 13, remember?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, hey, Murray up in Canada's with us. Nice.
He's faithful, and we love Murray.
Yeah, Murray's always there.
And I've had some other guys send me messages and say, they watch it religiously. So anyway.
I have Murray scheduled on my slate for March. So hopefully
oh, good.
Hopefully Murray working up in Canada.
Murray told me he'd be on my show if I pre-recorded it. He couldn't be live. So if you're getting him live, you're getting something special.
Well, it cost me a couple $100, but yeah. A couple $100 and a G.I. Joe, I think he said, something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, tonight's show is brought to you by Paul Knapp.
Hey.
And alcohol prep pads.
You can never have too many.
Can never have too many prep pads.
Hey, Doll Base is here too.
Doll Base, yeah, all the way from Sweden. Sounds about right, Paul. Murray, we're gonna have to get you, I guess, recorded because I can't give you a G.I. Joe. I ain't got none to give. So, Rick, what do you want to show us tonight?
Oh, I got a couple things. I got a few things to show real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me move back a little bit. I think. Remember this?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And remember the Keith Ward? This was his
you bought it from Keith?
The vehicle not the vehicle, the figure he wanted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I have set up a deal with Keith, and he will be getting this.
Well, he'll like that.
Yeah, that was his his holy grail or whatever he wanted to get.
Right.
But I'll show you these things. This is what I really want to show because we have Angelo here, and this is one of his flocks.
Yikes!
That's
a 1/12 guy, or
yeah. This is a classified guy. This is the head is grunt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
look at the detail on that.
If you can see that, that's flocking. That's like perfect.
It is. It is.
And this is, I'm amazed that Angelo isn't like, I don't know, making millions right now.
Somebody's going to discover him someday, and he won't even remember us.
Man. And this is one of the 3D heads from Etsy.
Oh, wow.
I wish I could think of the guy's name. It's like Doug's Garage or something like that. And these 3D heads are awesome. And Angelo, when he flocks them, perfect. And he paints the eyes too. I couldn't paint the eyes.
Oh my goodness.
No way.
So that comes to you unpainted when you buy it on 3D?
Yes.
But it is a G.I. Joe head, right? Or
yeah, you could just paint the hair and maybe do the eyes, and it'll look just like a a 64
64
Joe.
Joe. Yeah.
And one more. I'll show you one more, which is this one.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I wanted a blonde hair, which he did for me. And it was after I got it that I put it on this astronaut body.
Now, what figure is that?
That's from Fortnite.
Oh, okay.
Fortnite does some good 1/12 scale stuff. Did some,
Yeah.
And I thought, well, he's the air adventurer. Got to be on an astronaut,
Wow.
So,
yeah.
Wow.
But whole
Murray says he loves it.
Murray. That's great, man.
Love that one, Rick.
Yeah. So that's what I got to show. You got to give kudos to Angelo.
Man.
I've never seen anything like that. Everything he does, amazing. And he does, like he was talking earlier. He doesn't jab you with prices.
Right.
It's what they're worth.
That's right. That's right. Well, time is money. So without further ado, we bring on the great Flocker.
The great Flocker. What?
There he is.
I got to remember that for my show.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Angelo, who flocked your goatee there?
You know what, Terry? Just like when you're getting ready for church, my mom always says you got to look good.
That's right.
So I went when I got home from school today. I did a little bit of flocking, and then I said, you know what? And I went to the gym, did a little workout, and then I said I got to look good for Terry tonight because I don't want him to think that I'm not taking care of myself. So I went and I had to shave and get all cleaned up just for the show, and I even did my little goatee flock here too.
Well, you did great, man. It looks good.
Yeah, thank you. Well, Rick, thank you very much for all the kind words. It made me blush a little bit there, Hoss. So I appreciate that.
Oh,
well,
I can't speak enough about your work, honestly.
Thank you.
Right, right, and my connection to Paul Knapp comes through you. So thank you for connecting us, and of course I've known you for years, and I can't never say enough about all of your work. Your cartoon books, is that what you call them, or comic books, whatever?
Oh yeah. I got one to show. We got Easter coming up in what?
Okay, go ahead.
So
show it. Go ahead. Show
it. Okay. This one I did a while ago. I have and you know what? And I want to ask Rick, what do you got going on with your camera? Because when you held up those figures, they were pristine. And the light that I have here, they were so crystal clear. The light that I have on my laptop right now, every time I try to hold something up, it whites it out. I mean, you're going to get glare and whatnot. So it just must be the perfect setting that you have going on there.
I'm in my basement.
Yep.
And my lights are in front of me looking down. I have no special lights or anything.
No,
those are LED lights probably, right, Rick?
No, they're just lights. But I know I know where to put it, where I put my table and my chair, that hopefully my chair doesn't collapse. But
yeah, don't fall tonight. But this is, I have all the holiday series of the comics. This is the Easter one. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 little mini comic stories inside this trade paperback, which was jam-packed full of all different things. I don't know if you can see, there's the Barbie kitchen that I redid. I painted it. I put some backsplash on there. So they're great. They're great stories. They're wonderful. The pictures are all full color pictures. And I sold a few, and I keep posting them, try to sell them, so I can make more. That's kind of my thing. I don't try to, I'm not going to become rich on this. I understand that. I'm not trying to railroad anybody. I'm not trying to charge too much. I want to be in this in order to continue doing it. So when I charge something, it's so that I can then make more of it, so I could get more people to enjoy it. I have a Christmas one. I have a Halloween one. I have the Easter one, the Thanksgiving one that I've done. Those are the trade paperbacks. and each one has about 4 to 5 different mini stories inside it. But I have 10. But in order for me to do the next series, I have to like unload some of the first one. So I'm trying to sell those so I can then move on to the next series that I have. And then I have the whole entire continuing adventures of G.I. Joe series, which is up over 21 issues. And then I have a new one, the Cryptid series, that I have about 4 of them done. And one other thing I just got, I actually was able to get the Adventures of G.I. Joe patented. I now have that name.
Wow.
Yeah, my wife was very influential in doing this over the winter break. She had me fill out some paperwork, and I sent it away to Library of Congress, and they actually sent me back a very formal letter with, I should have brought it out tonight, saying the continuing adventures of G.I. Joe in Feathered Serpent is the one with all the dinosaurs. My trade paperback with the dinosaurs. And the next step is I'm going to have it on for sale on Amazon. So it's going to be there and on Kindle. So that's something I'm really excited about. That's brand new for my wheelhouse.
That is
pretty
awesome.
cool, dude.
That is awesome.
Nice. Yeah, very nice.
Will Amazon print it, or will you be printing it?
Actually, they do it because my wife was looking into it. So they do all the where I make pennies. I make very, very little on it. It's that way, doing it that way. It's more or less the publicity piece. It's more or less getting it out there. But I make pennies on the dollar. I think I make 35 cents for every dollar that it's worth. So that's absolutely fine by me. The number of people, the exposure that it will get, I could never publicize it as much as having it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal.
We want to. Do you have a link where everybody can see all this stuff? Because we want to make sure we put that link in the.
I will have all that up and running. Like I said,
okay.
I'm not good with any of this technical type stuff and the legal stuff. My wife's always yelling at me because just like with all the G.I. Joe, and I'm selling things and doing this, she's like, "You should do this. You should do like," and I'm just like, and I wish I did, because I think maybe I could be like a Paul Tuckett. I could be like a Cotswold. I could, if I took that next step and I got more people involved, maybe I could be bigger and better. But for me, I love it, and I don't think I want all the. It seems like a lot. Sometimes it could be a little bit of a headache when you have so many people bombarding you. It no longer becomes as much of a passion and as much of a joy as it becomes a job. And for me, and when people ask me, especially like with Flocking Heads, and I tell them, I said, listen, I only want to do 4 or 5. Because some people, I know Stacy's awesome, and Stacy can flock like a madman. The dude flocks in his sleep. He does hundreds of heads at a time. I do 4 or 5 per customer, per friend. And I never say, when they say customer, I said, no, I do them for my friends. So if you're my friend, then I will flock those heads for you. And I say only 4 or 5 at a time, because I want to do the quality job that I can for you. And I want to do it for the other guy. And I don't want to just slam bang them and get them out there. I put a lot of pride, a lot of passion in this. And when I look at them, each one, like I said, each one is a character. When you look at each face, no one G.I. Joe head is identical to another one. And based on where the glue sat the previous time, you can see where you would need to put the flock. And I adjust it and this and that. It's fun. It's a hobby. It's enjoyable. And I would never want it to become, it's a job. And where, I have to go do this. I have to. Then you start to lose interest in it, and you lose part of the fun.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, Paul, you got a question for him?
No, I was agreeing with you with the becoming a job thing, because I do dioramas and I make them out of the foam and all that, and I'll sell them to a couple of people around here or stores or something. Then when one person sees it, man, they're like, and then 4 or 5 people, I'm like, whoa, wait, pump the brakes, man. I do this for fun. I don't charge a lot. Get my money back, and I'm the same way, dude. It's just, you don't want it to be a chore. You want it to be fun.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
So
somebody said that Angelo, let's see, where did he say this? Let me come back up here and say this. Angelo is, let's see.
Somebody had a question about what everybody's favorite figure was.
He's in a temple.
I am in my, yeah. You can see my Buddha in the background there. That is a wallpaper. This is my man attic. It's not a man cave. It's a man attic because it's upstairs. About 16 years ago, my wife was like, okay, you have too much stuff. And I had it all jammed in what used to be a laundry room. It was an 8x8, and it was packed floor to ceiling with all the different boxes and things of all the figures that I had. And we eventually decided we needed to expand. We needed to increase the size of our house. It's a big house as it is, 1885. It's old house. And we decided the downstairs my wife was going to get. So she got a fireplace. She has her own bathroom. She has the mud room downstairs. So that's what she wanted. So she said, then you can have the upstairs. So right here, this is a 20 by 24 room. I have a full walk-in closet that's lined floor to ceiling with all my figures that I have flocked, and many that were flocked originally by Ray Cairo, Flock Concepts. He was a phenomenal flocker. This was before I even understood how to flock or what it was all about. Ray Cairo was the go-to man. I still loved all his flocking that he did for all the figures that I have. So then this became my room. And the first thing I did was put that big mural wall. It's a wallpaper wall, and it's 10 feet wide. And it goes all the way to the floor. So it's probably about, well, the ceiling, yeah, it's probably about 15 feet high and about 10 feet wide, wallpaper. And then above it is a motorized screen that comes down. And I have a ceiling mounted projector so I can watch videos. I could play video games if I wanted to. But mostly it was for the backdrop. And then that table is all full of dinosaurs and G.I. Joe. So, and then all the way around the room are all different types of dioramas that I have. I have one of my favorites is an Egyptian one that I have. Another one of my favorites is behind me over my, well, depending on which shoulder you're looking at, because I can't tell. Paul had me do the mirror image thing. You could probably see the little Vespa back there with the little pillars. That is kind of my European scene. And the backdrop of if someone was going to go to Home Depot or Lowe's and they wanted a backdrop for their kitchen, I have that as the floor, as the ground, as the what am I looking for? I can't even find the words.
The pavement.
The pavement, cobblestone.
Yeah, cobblestone.
So that floor is like worth someone's backdrop of their kitchen counter. So I put a little bit of money. People think I'm a little crazy, but this stuff I think is wonderful and beautiful. And a lot of things I make on my own. The light behind me is you see the top of the light. That was a string of holiday light outdoor lights that I took apart and made lampposts. And there's probably about 10 of them on that table. They all light up. I have little candle lights inside them. I actually sold a couple and they went overseas. That was an interesting shipping those. So I try when I walk around my world, I live my world in a 1/6 scale world. When I go to the store, I look at everything in 1/6 scale. Will that work? Will that work? How can I change this? How can I do that? Yep. I went to Home Depot one time, and they had a metal gate. And I was like, looking at that gate, and I was looking at the dimensions in between the wires of the gate. And I said, you know what? If I took that apart, that'd make a perfect shark cage. And sure enough, it's hanging on the ceiling above my head. I built a shark cage. I had to solder the sides of it. And then I used PVC pipe to make pontoons for the top and the bottom, and it'll float. You can put it in the pool. It'll go right down and fits a full figure. But that's just how my mind works. I go and I look at things and I'm like, yep, I could use that for something. And I do it. And a lot of people don't realize a lot of things you throw away, you can use to make things. I love to take styrofoam. This is a throwaway piece of styrofoam that I spray painted. First, I painted it with some tan acrylic paint, and then I spray painted it with stone fleck paint. And the bristles here that's from an old broom. a throwaway raw broom that someone was throwing out. I found it on the side of the road. I took it, I cut it up, I stick it in there, and this makes awesome grass for a desert scene. And this is all over my my Egyptian scene is this, and it cost me nothing.
Wow.
It cost me cents because I had to use the little bit of paint. But that's how my brain operates, and that's how I do most of my stuff. But so what you guys don't know is I'm not just a flocker. That's new to me. Flocking I've only been doing for a few years. I've been building dioramas for a lot longer and repurposing things. I got Barbie's house in the background here. That was a big Barbie house that I completely repainted, and it's got stone fleck paint on the outside of it, and the inside is it's supposed to be Joe's childhood home. And I use that in my comic books, and it's just that you have to look at things a different way. Dragon, I know, guys, I hope I'm not talking too much. I know you invited me, Terry, so it's kind of your fault. Dragon Models had a wagon that looked similar to this. It was a World War II wagon.
Okay.
And it was maybe $100 and some odd dollars. I don't remember back in the day.
Yeah.
And I wanted one so bad, but I could not see paying that much money for it. So I made one. So
you made that. Damn.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't make was the wheels. I found the wheels online. But I made it. I painted it. I weathered it a little bit. And I like mine better than the store-bought one.
I do too.
Cool.
I do too.
So that's just the thing. And then last year during Halloween, I did a box set with a Headless Horseman, and I thought it was too funny that right afterward, Paul Tuckett came out with their Headless Horseman one, but I did one with a box set, and I had this little wagon. Another one just made this real quick. I had some fake pumpkins that I put inside. I had a figure that had this cool coat with the saber and everything else, and that you build it, do it. You know,
did you make more? How many of those sets did you make?
I only make about 4 sets of each theme. And the only reason is, like I said, time, money, and like I said, trying to keep the cost down, and I itemize it and I break it down, and I'll break it down for anybody who, was asking or questioning anything I'm doing. I says, here you go. This is how much it costs, and I try when I put the figure together, I'm buying direct. So I'm paying for, if I want the holster set, it's coming from Cotswold. So it's $15. Right. And then I'm paying shipping on top of that. So that's a $20 item. I need the figure. There's $20 figure, just a nude figure. Now I need the head. Okay. Yeah. Then I'm flocking the head. So, and then I need a uniform, and the uniforms are costing me $20 a pop because I'm not putting garbage on these figures. I'm putting top of the line, and usually they're more modern figure uniforms that I'm putting on these figures. And so a figure is going to run $75, $85, but it's worth it because I see some other things that are going out there that aren't close to what I'm offering, but I'm only producing 4 sets. And I have some guys that are my go-to guys that were always buying my sets as soon as they come out because they know what they're going to get.
Where do you put it, on eBay?
What's that? No, I usually just word of mouth. I usually post them on Facebook. I say, here's my new set. I take a picture. I put some on YouTube. So if you go way back, Paul, you'll see some of the sets that I did.
I've seen them. Now the boxes you put them in, you
he makes those, I'm sure.
Boxes, or?
Yeah, well, the boxes are 14 by 20. They're about 14 by 20. And inside I would have the figure and all the other stuff that goes with it.
They're like 2 inches thick, right? They're pretty thick. They're like
the box.
Yeah.
Did
you buy like 100 of those and then just keep them?
There's a local place called Mail and More. There's a Mail and More place, and I usually go there and I'll buy 3 or 4 boxes at a time, just because that's what I need to sell.
And when you put your thing on the top of it, though, is that just printed off a computer printer or what?
That is. And then there's another price. I take a picture, I take a photograph, and every photograph is specific to the set that the person wants. So if someone says, I want brown hair with blue eyes, or I want gray hair, I make that figure for them. And then I take a picture with their figure, and then I Photoshop it a little bit, and I enlarge it to put on the sticker paper. I go to that same Mail and More. They make me the sticker. I purchased the stickers already, and then I bring it to them and I said, "Can you put it on this sticker paper?" They're so good to me there. They print it on a sticker paper, and I said, "Dude, my hand shakes too much. Can you put it on?" And they put it on the box.
Oh, wow.
They're that good to me because they know I'm always there bringing them business, and they get a big kick to see.
I was wondering how you got that picture on the box, but it's
not
printed on the box. It's printed on paper, and then you stick it on the box.
Yeah. And they get a big kick when I come in and they see the different sets. And I've done an Alien one, I've done the White Tiger one, I've done a 10, I've done, so I've done a lot. I've done 7 different sets, and this one guy has every single one, and I was touched. He showed me he has a shelving unit, and on every level of the shelf is one of my box sets.
That's cool, man.
And for me, that's just like, wow. I said, so when I'm gone, he might have to give it to somebody else, but I know that I made that. I did that.
The kicker is that what you said, you use quality stuff. You just don't throw in, throwaway figures. Your stuff is great.
Somebody's asking, what does one of those sets cost? I know you don't have any right now, but he's just wanting to know the price.
It depends on what's in it, because like one of them, I made a huge tent. It was big enough where G.I. Joe was on a hammock inside it. So with the figure, like I said, the figure, if it was just a figure, it was $75 to $85. Now you're going to put everything else that I have in there. It's going to cost a little bit, but it depends on what is in the set. This one, I want to show you. This was one I kind of put this out as a teaser, and I really didn't get much feedback from it. It looks like a little bit of a Chuck Norris Vietnam.
That's what I was going to say.
Figure. Okay. This just the AK-47. You go look an AK-47 right now on eBay. You can't touch them for $15.
Yeah.
Just for that weapon. If you see this bow is bad. I don't want to swear, but this bow is bad. It even has a little twist, just like Rambo had. So on the ends of each one of the little bows, it doesn't come off, but that explosive little tip, it has it on here. The M60 with the belt, and he has this big Bowie knife on the side. That knife that he had. This is a phenomenal figure, and I was going to put this together in a set with 2 other Ultimate Soldier figures that were kind of just fodder that looked all beat up. If you remember the set that came out years ago, it was a Vietnam War Memorial set. Yeah. And there's 3 figures, and those Ultimate Soldier figures look very drawn. They look very war beaten. Those figures I would use as to put with this figure as a prisoner of war. And then I used, I had a pajama set for them, and I was going to use that. And then this was going to be kind of like the Chuck Norris Rambo type thing that went to go rescue them. Yeah. And I was going to put that as a kit. But when I posted it, it did seem like it went very far. I didn't get that much interest. So he sits on my shelf, and I love him, and he gets a lot of love from me, and I'm happy about that.
So you only made one of him? You didn't make like 4?
No, I make them to order, because like I said, I don't ever know how they're going to go. Yeah. I did one. It was called a game night set. It was like one of my favorite sets because it was fun. It had a working Atari. It was just big.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And it worked. You can play Asteroids on it, right. And I was like, this is so cool. I had a mini chess set, and it had metal pieces, chess with metal pieces, playing cards. I had a miniature Pictionary, miniature Monopoly. It had this beautiful rug, this nice rug that I found. So it had all these, a chair, had a wooden chair, had a wooden little end table, had all this awesome stuff in it. And people are like, well, it's not an official G.I. Joe. You know what? It's a repro that looks just as good as any other one. And I said, if Hasbro started producing some quality stuff like this, maybe they'd still be around.
Yeah. Yep. That's right.
And they wouldn't have fizzled out. with all, because now everyone's worried like they're gonna end up being done. I don't know what's happening lately. I love the classified stuff, but old school is where it's at. You know, I this is where the play value. I love my 1/6 scale figures.
Hasbro's not going away. They're just shelving GI Joes. What they're doing, they're not.
I picked this one up the other day. I haven't offered him yet, but
Stalker.
Yeah.
Stalker.
Yeah.
That's the first 4 GI Joe. One of the first 4. Yeah.
Yep. But this is one of those modern winter sets. And I just added my own stuff to it.
I made a video on that one, didn't you? Or
I did on YouTube. I just did a quick one, and it's got the repro. Now,
when you do your comic books, do you all the stuff behind you? You don't. Most of your comics are taken outside, though, right? The pictures. You don't use your studio.
If I do a shot from the headquarters, I have 4 headquarters, and 3 of them are actually in a horseshoe underneath one of my tables. And that acts as their headquarter base. So when I go and I get down on the ground, that's why I can't get too big, because I won't be able to move too much. And I get old, my knees start hurting and stuff. So I have to get down on the ground, and I got to get in under the table, and I do all my headquarters shots there. And then I made a headquarters 2.0, and the headquarters 2.0, I used 5x7 picture frames from the dollar store. And I got transparent paper, and I photocopied images like from a computer screen, and then I drilled holes in the top of all of them, and I put lights, so it lights up, and that's the other headquarters that I use when it's for my cryptid. That's my cryptid headquarters. Yeah. So everything else is outside. So I take my stuff out. You know, in the winter, I'm out in the snow. We haven't had any snow this year, and it's making me crazy because I wanted to be out in the snow and take some snow shots, and one of them was I was going to do a Valentine's Day one, and it was going to be based on my main character, who I call him Red, some call him Mike, and he always does some goofy stuff. So he's always trying to get the girl on Valentine's Day. So this one was going to be a story how he envisions himself like a James Bond character. So I was going to have him riding horses out with these 2 women out in the snow, and he was going to be skiing out in the snow, and he was going to be doing this out in the snow, and I didn't have any snow, so that one I never got to do that Valentine's Day comic, and I was a little bummed out. I still got the story in my head. I write all my stories; they're all here first because I don't sleep. I wake up and I have a story, and I write the whole entire story. And then I photograph it, and I take more than 300 pictures per comic. It takes me that long to get some that are halfway decent. And then I put them in comic format, and I put all the dialogue bubbles to go along with the story. Then I have to send it away to get printed if I'm going to produce them to sell. I send them away to get printed. I was stapling them myself, and I was making my own cover myself and gluing them. My father-in-law was kind enough. He made this little, I'm losing the thought for words, where you can bind it together and put the glue, and you like a press, and you do it tight. So he built me that so I could make my own comic covers. And for every single one, I did that. And it took a long time. And then I decided, you know what? It was taking me so long. I decided I would pay the extra money to have the cover be made professionally, and it cost more. I had to charge a couple more bucks. It's still sitting. You know, that was the one I did with the dinosaurs. That was the feathered serpent one, which was a 5. It's over 90 pages. It's over 90 full color pages.
And you're selling that one for what?
That one I was selling, I think I was selling for $30.
Okay.
For that. And I was putting that in the set. I had a dinosaur set. You know, I had the GI Joe.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it came, and did your son buy that one?
I don't know. I know that, you know, my son has a TikTok channel.
Yeah.
And
he bought one of my first thing.
He highlights his show is called Toys That Keep Us Collecting. And so he highlighted your whole set one night,
Yeah.
in one of his TikToks, and man,
That's
he loved. First of all, he loved that theme.
the
You know,
thing.
yeah,
The
he
thing
loved
was
that.
that was
And
that
then
was
he said you did an amazing job of capturing, the feel of that movie, because that's one of his favorite movies.
awesome. And that one, I did that one late, and now it's going to be, I think, 2 years ago. That one I was just sitting around, and it was during winter break, and I didn't know what to do. And I started just piecing parts together, and I got some Sculpey clay, and I got a figure's head, and then I found the old Halloween spider, and I disassembled the spider, and I stuck it. I put holes in the head, and I put the legs of the spider in it, and it came out awesome. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. So I made like 4 different sets, and each one was different. Each one was different with a different character. And now I got next week off, and I got a lot of other flocking and stuff to do, but I wanted to do the dog, that beast looking dog, the scene where they go in it's like in the pen, in the kennel there.
Yeah.
And it's all gross and nasty. Well, I have a rat, a Halloween rat, a skeleton of a Halloween rat that I had put on its side, and I want to use that to put Sculpey clay on it and make the guts and make this and do another rendition of the thing.
Oh,
but,
wow!
I don't know if I'll have time to do that. With
Wow,
everything
that's a good thought right there.
Yeah. I have lots of thought. That's all I do is my brain goes nonstop.
Yeah.
I just go ahead.
I've been working with Jim, and let's see if I can let me get my camera back here. Jim, he's made the helmet.
Oh,
for the knights. Yeah. You showed
because
that. Yeah.
because I have a whole bunch of knights, but I had no helmets on any of them.
Yep.
And now I have my helmets. I really love it.
That's cool. That's awesome. Jim did that. Jim does awesome work.
Jim is working with me on. Me and Greg are trying to put together a project for the 60th anniversary, which is already over, but we're hoping to have
it's all year. All year.
Maybe before Joe Atlanta. We'll have it out before Joe Atlanta, hopefully.
So speaking of that, Jim, well, I'll put this one down. I'll show you real quick. This was my post-apocalypse type of wilderness post-apocalypse figure that I did. This was one of my favorite ones. It's got a 2mm flock, and then it's got like a 4 and 6mm. So this one was really cool. And it's what it's wearing, like the shoulder pads and whatnot, and the jacket was my wife's old leather book bag that she no longer wanted, and I repurposed it. So that's the way you do it. But speaking of the 60th, so with the box sets, I told Jim about this. This is going, I don't know how many months ago I told Jim about this, and I gave Jim 2 big jobs to do. And the 2 big jobs I gave Jim to do were in preparation of the 60th, that I wanted to do 2 box sets that I was going to only do like the 4 each of a special rendition of the 60th anniversary of G.I. Joe. Adventure Team, though, unfortunately, unless you wanted a painted head, I would just not flock it. And they were Adventure Team based, but a little modernized. So Jim has been busting his tail trying to get those 2 things done. And I know he's got so many other things to do, but I gave him this job many months ago. So he keeps saying it's almost there, and I don't want to push him. He's a busy man. He's got a lot going on. He teaches nonstop. So I understand, but if I could get these out, me, myself, and I, man, those are the hardest workers I know. Me, myself, and I. That's what I tell my kids at school. You want something done and done right, do it yourself.
Well, if you get one ready and somebody wants to buy it at Joe Atlanta, maybe we can work something out. I can take it there for you, unless you're going to be going.
No, unfortunately, because of when all these shows are, and with school.
Yeah, I understand.
So the one that I do want to try to make it to is the Kentucky show, because it's in July. So we want to give my wife a week off from the boys, because we are monsters here in the house. So I was going to do a road trip and take my 2 sons, and we were going to go to Kentucky and stay for a week and make a little vacation out of it.
That
and
would
then
be awesome.
and then go to the show on either the front end or the back end of that week, just to have a little bit of our bonding time, a little Joe time, and free my wife up from us.
Right. Well, some people might not agree with me, but the Kentucky show seems to be stepping up to take the place of what Joe Atlanta used to be.
Yeah,
And,
I went there last year. It was huge, man. I
it-
mean,
it
definitely
just-
geared for the 1/6 scale collector, not so much the 3 3. I mean, there was 3 3/4 stuff, but that's the one to be at for the 1/6 scale.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
The
Joe Lana, I went to Joe Lana last year. Buddy was awesome. And God bless him. I know that he's bouncing back. I saw, if you guys saw today,
Yeah,
he's out of the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah, they wheeled him out. So he was kind enough. He sought me out a couple times trying to get me down there. And it's always a thing based on when it is. And I always think, I can't drive down. It's you got to fly. And I said, by the time you fly and you book a room and you have meals, and you're dropping $1,000.
Oh,
and
yes.
And you didn't even buy anything. So
Right.
I would want to be able to have a table, but then again, how would I get my stuff there? Would I have to like box it up, ship it? I know some people, they ship it down and then they have to ship it back. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I went for the first time, and Paul was kind enough. We kind of did a roving reporter, man cave show. And I walked around and I talked to people, and they're great guys. Everyone there was so awesome, and they said, it's bigger than just the show. It's bigger than just selling things. It's bigger. It's about the people that make this hobby what it is, the people who are going to keep this hobby alive as long as they're there. And, trying to get the younger generation, the younger guys into it so it will last and it will continue. And it's an uphill battle to get that done. But the Joe Lana crew is a Joe Lana crew. It is a group of guys that have been doing it over and over and over again. And I hope that continues. And I think with Kentucky, I don't know much about it other than it's blowing up. And I think it's become more of a sales venue. I don't know if the camaraderie is there as much. I don't know if the feeling of a belonging and kinship is as prevalent as it is at the Joe Lanta show. I think just because Joe Lanta was for these guys what they started and what they continued for the last 20 plus years.
Well, when I don't want to take a long time, but when I went to the first Joe Lana, I don't even know how I found it, but I live close to Atlanta, and I guess I was just searching online and I found it. And so then I booked right away. I think it was either the second or the third Joe Atlanta that they actually had. The thing that blessed me the most, and of course there's always a few weirdos in everything, but I would say 97 or 98% of the guys are just great. But one of the things that really jumped out at me is that we came in, they didn't even know who we were. And we came in on a Friday night and we were going around introducing everybody. And my little grandson was with me, and he was just 4 or 5? Yeah, he was 4 years old. And we were walking around introducing everybody, and they were saying, it's so nice of you to come. We just want to help you. Thank you that you're getting into the hobby. And so I told people, it's his birthday too, and everybody started giving him something from their tables. So his first Joe Atlanta became, his first collecting day. He came home with GI Joes that people had given him, and trucks and cars and Jeeps, and it was the best time. And of course, we made friends with all those guys, and they've been friends ever since. Daryl, I just was talking with Daryl and Carlos. They're two of the guys that I've known for years, and they've just started their own little Facebook page. And I'm going to try to have Daryl and Carlos on, maybe even EJ if I can. EJ he is the swap guy. He's the swap king. And the swap has, it's not like it used to be, but the swap used to be, we just go out in the lobby. there at the Hilton, and we just start talking one another and swapping stuff. Now it's almost formal. You almost have to have a ticket to get into the swap.
Well, they said because you guys were taking over the lobby, it came like a fire hazard because there were so many guys blocking up the entryway and this and that, and so I think the Hilton got a little a little upset and made it. Now it needs to be a formal, and you have to be in a room, and I went to it, and it was okay. But it was not what I had heard about,
Well, see, the first two years we went to the swap meet, it was just in the lobby, and there wasn't really any big announcement, and people just came, down from their rooms and brought stuff and traded stuff, and it was probably maybe 100 guys, not many more than that, but it was just outstanding, awesome stuff. Right. I met a guy there who was showing Steve Scout, and of course, I never had heard of Steve Scout, and he didn't like that the next year I brought a Steve Scout with me because I don't know, I guess it stole his thunder or whatever, but he blocked me on Facebook and won't answer no phone calls or nothing. I don't know. Some people, they don't get this hobby. This hobby is about friendship and camaraderie.
Yes.
Michael asked one of the guys, he said, I love that sled with all the dogs. And when we got home, it was here in the mail. It had been sent to my grandson. Wow. So, cool. These guys, they really get it. And I don't know if you ever met or heard of the Karma King, but the Karma King was a guy that whenever you bought something from him, he just included something. I bought a G.I. Joe from him, and he included another G.I. Joe. And he was the Karma King. That's what he always did. He would just add something that you didn't even ask for, and it was almost better than what you bought. I mean, he was the Karma King.
That's what real guys do.
Yeah. And every time I pack something up, that's what I do. I look around. What can I add?
If it's not that, then you give them for like a good price, like a price they're never gonna find anywhere else.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you do get some who are, it's all about the almighty buck. And
on my Facebook page, I have guys that are coming in there, and I go to their page and I see that they're just resellers, and I don't want them.
And that's what a lot of people go right before a show, and they'll go buy a big collection. Right. Or they'll buy something with the sole purpose is I'm going to go resell all of this and make some money. And if that's your thing, okay, but it's the venue. Is this the right place for it? And I know that, and you can't really separate out or weed out and say, okay, I'm not going to allow you to get a vendor's table because you don't have the right virtues or whatever. But you got to have. There's those people there that do that, but for every one of those, there's 10 others who are true of heart, and this is their passion. And I just saw that Mike's GI Dojo, he was talking about the parachute drop. I wanted so bad to experience the parachute drop, and that was like one of the reasons I wanted to go to a Joe Lana show, and they didn't do it anymore. And they were saying because they were dropping it on the piano, it was getting stuck in the elevator shaft. The parachutes were all over the place. People were stealing. They said there was this woman who would grab the parachute and she put it under her dress and she would take off with the people's GI Joes and stuff. Yep. So they said it got crazy. But what an awesome time to see that. I wish I witnessed
one year, one of the guys, he made a like a little certificate, and it said GI Joe Flight School, and depending on how you had to have at least 5 jumps, and it didn't have to all be tonight. But if you had 5 jumps and you could verify that you were in last year's jump, this year's jump, or 5 tonight, he would give you the certificate that says you were a graduate of the GI Joe Parachute Flight School. And that kind of stuff, I just love that kind of stuff. Yep. I just love it. Well, I hate to go. We got to go. But it's been awesome, man. This is one of the best shows yet.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Cool.
Thank you. I'm honored. I thank you so much, for inviting me on the show. I know we tried to hook up earlier on, and the holiday season came, and
well, we're going to have you back if you don't mind later on. Okay.
My kids tell me all the time, Mr. D, you love to hear yourself talk. And I said, yep,
Yeah,
I do.
I
talk. Go ahead.
You don't want to do the questions?
Oh, you got questions? You got time for questions?
Want to do the questions real quick?
Well, go ahead real quick. I'll give you one or two more minutes, and then we got to go.
Sorry.
Okay. So everybody, all you guys, what's your favorite movie?
Oh boy. Favorite movie. So now I'm going to say movies that really influenced me versus favorite movie. Like Rocky was an influencer. When I seen that for the first time, that was like if I ever hear the music, you want to jump down and start doing push-ups.
Don't take the whole minute, Angelo.
I know. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones, all those type of things. Those were Jaws.
You get one pick. You get one movie.
One movie.
I still can't go swimming at night. All right, go ahead.
All right, Paul. What's your favorite movie?
Growing up as a kid, it'd have to be Star Wars. The original 1977.
Good movie.
Maybe as an adult, I would pick something like the Band of Brothers series or Saving Private Ryan, something like that. Yeah. But definitely growing up as a kid with Star Wars.
What was my other question? Favorite color. What's your favorite color?
Mine is purple. I'm a Minnesota Viking fan. I
Really?
was since I was yay big.
Judging by your shirt, yes.
And yeah, so definitely it's purple and then black.
Navy blue.
Well, no, come on.
like Paul's eyes. Like Paul's eyes.
Penn State, navy blue, man. Gotta go.
All right, one more question and we gotta go.
Goodfellas. Yeah, that was a good one too. I forgot about
What's your favorite memory?
Oh, you can't ask me because it'll take too long.
Throw one out there.
Here's his favorite memory being on this show tonight.
There you go.
Absolutely. The next time you have me on, Terry, I'll tell you the story. I think I told on Paul's show when we went to Italy in 1978, and I brought some GI Joes. I'll tell you that story because I'm scarred.
Yeah, you need 15 minutes for that story, bro.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I want to thank all of you for being here. Paul, I know you didn't get to say much, but hey, I appreciate you being here. And my sidekick, Rick, you're the best, man.
Ed McMahon.
Thank you, Angelo. And let's all remember that toys are fun, okay?
Absolutely.
Good night. Bye-bye, everybody. See you later.